right, awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, in terms of tech, this week has been rather slow because people have been on events and people have been taking overdue vacation. So basically, it's been a little bit slow. We're next step in bringing clarity so that people can also understand exactly what FEVM is and how it works is to put together a consolidated spec. So I already talked about this, but there's FEVM is made up of many features and many technical advancements that make it possible. So, but they're kind of like spread across the board right now. So there's a set of discussions in the FIPS repo. There are FIP proposals themselves. There are specs in the FEM specs repo. And it's kind of like hard to form a kind of like the big picture of how all these changes fit together. So the next logical step here is to build a consolidated spec. And to actually that will eventually turn into the FIP proper. So that is the next step. We also want to do some minimal work so that we can integrate the FEVM prototype into a Lotus client so that folks can start experimenting with it. There's still lacking a bunch of features, like for example, delegate calls or create to address creation and stuff like that. But I think it would be useful for people to start getting their hands on it. It also, so one thing that I do want to mention is that we're going to be likely starting up a new testnet for FEVM. And this testnet is gonna be kind of like working with continuous delivery. So basically the team is going to be delivering features to these testnets. It's likely going to be two channels for this testnet. There's going to be a stable channel and a canary or bleeding edge channel. So as we work on features and those are ready to be tested, we'll keep delivering them. So yeah, so consolidated spec, testnet, and of course, working on these features are things that are coming on next weeks. But these weeks are going to be rather slower because we're starting the summer period as well, and people really do need a break as well on the FEM team. And also, there's a bunch of events all over the place that are distracting us. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Are you saying Paris is a distraction?
for the engineering team, I consider it a little bit of a distraction for DevX and product, and of course, it's like these events are where people have to be.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's amazing though. Like, looking forward to testnet, and we've got so many things happening, and we've opened the builders program as I mentioned. So there's still things happening despite all that, I think, which is awesome.
Yeah, I would just mention that another event besides Paris, another event was so this was a meetup that happened in Iceland last week actually, and it was kind of like a amazing. I wasn't there, but I was able to tune into some of the talks and some of the conversations, and it was kind of like this amazing event that I think is gonna. It's going to be a milestone in the roadmap of IPFS because they talked a lot about the future of IPFS as well. And one of those elements was WASM and IPFS, which hinges on a lot on what FEM has done. So of course, the FEM team was very much involved in those conversations. And basically the idea here is to extract a baseline framework out of the FEM, which is the one that kind of like that provides the WASM runtime execution, that provides the metering for it, that provides as well the IPLD integration and a bunch of other things. This will be extracted into something that we're friendly, which we've given kind of like the pet name of IPVM. So that's the interplanetary VM, so that different execution environments can be built on top of that. And then we kind of like turn things around such that FEM is one of those, right? So right now, FEM is the only execution environment, and it influences a lot of what IPVM is going to be. But as IPVM is actually clearer and it's actually defined and it actually becomes a thing, FEM will likely turn itself around and it will be a layer on top of IPVM, or kind of like an implementation of IPVM.